For me, there's a simple rule in politics. Never, ever be surprised by what happens in politics.
The face of truth is open. The eyes of truth are bright. The lips of truth are ever closed. The head of truth is upright. The breast of truth stands forward. The gaze of truth is straight. Truth has neither fear nor doubt. Truth has patience to wait. The words of truth are touching. The voice of truth is deep. The law of truth is simple. All you sow, you reap. The soul of truth is flaming. The heart of truth is warm. The mind of truth is clear and firm through rain and storm. Facts are only its shadow. Truth stands above all sin. Great be the battle of life. Truth in the end shall win. The image of truth is the cross. Wisdom's message is its rod. The sign of truth is Christ, and the soul of truth is God. Life of truth is eternal. Immortal is its past. Power of truth shall endure. Truth shall hold to the last.
I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. It's a depression. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street, and there's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. We know the air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat. We sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. They're crazy. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living rooms. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crying in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value.
And so earlier today we had a 72nd national tribute to reflect on the life and legacy of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. And we had church bells and sirens from fire stations around the island sounding for 1 minute and 10 seconds, started at 9:59 a.m. and that is to herald the commencement of the 72nd reflection period commencing at 10 o'clock this morning. But how about 49 seconds of silence to coincide with the number of homicides St. Lucia has recorded so far for this year, starting right now. Okay, this just about does it. 49 seconds of silence, and that is to reflect on those individuals who have perished as a result of violent crimes in St. Lucia during the course of 2022. If we can do it for the Queen, why not do it for us right here in St. Lucia? Charity begins at home. Hello everyone, welcome to the Monday edition of NewsSpin right here on Power 97.9 FM, as well as on the NewsSpin Facebook page and YouTube and NewsSpin SLU. Hope you had yourself a fantastic weekend. So our NewsSpin Facebook question of the day, 70 seconds for the Queen. How about 49 seconds for the island's homicide victims. And let's go through some of your responses to that question and see how many of you would have provided a response to it. Let me see if I could go through some of your responses right now. And somebody says there, Shas Nimas go, we is black, we don't need no white people. Tim, I'm not sure if she's listening, but I hope she follows the lead of Philip J. Pierre and gives 70 seconds of her time to the Queen. The hypocrisy is in this place is unbearable. And let me see if I could go through some more of your comments. Once again, to our Facebook question of the day. Give what's due unto Caesar, somebody says. Another person says, real talk, Tim, like the Queen is more important than us St. Lucians. And a final comment, somebody says, VT. Some of your responses to our NewsSpin Facebook question of the day. 70 seconds for the Queen. How about 49 seconds for the island's homicide victims? And fortunately, over the weekend, based on what I've heard, based on calls I've made to the authorities trying to ascertain what has been happening with regard to the crime situation in St. Lucia, we did not record any homicide. And thank God for that. This certainly is a rarity as far as St. Lucia is concerned. We hope that it will remain that way for as long as possible, because every time there is a homicide, we know that there are several people who are grieving as a result of this. We know that very often there'll be 2 or 3 children who are without a father. We know that this will cause some kind of hardship economically to some family members in our country. We know that this is doing damage to the reputation of the island. There might have been 1 or 2 incidents which resulted in people being injured. I think there was one particular incident over in the south of the island. Was not able to confirm it, but as soon as we get confirmation, a matter possibly involving 2 females, we hope that we'll be able to report on that for you during the course of our NewsSpin broadcast. The head of ICA, the Annual Council for the Advancement of Rastafari, Danny James. We played a clip of her during the newscast this afternoon at noon with Kimani Thomas, because she was reacting to the pains the authorities in St. Lucia went through in coming up with this initiative in tribute to the life and legacy of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. And she's speaking about what she deemed to be the irrelevance of this gesture on the part of the authorities over in St. Lucia. Let's hear from her.
Because the Queen died not recognizing that the people of the descendants of the enslaved Africans are still, even today, demanding an apology, demanding that the British Empire takes responsibility for their part in the Atlantic slave trade, the horrific slave trade which they themselves got enriched, and their descendants are still being enriched off the back of the descendants of the enslaved Africans. So I really think in this time there are very important matters and issues to discuss in regards to reparations and where we go from there after she has passed away.
You just heard there from the president of the Annual Council for the Advancement of Rastafari, Danny James. Because what you're saying there is, we are fussing over the Queen, but we're not taking particular note of her legacy in terms of slavery, in terms of imperialism, in terms of how the monarchy would have benefited from slavery. I mean, the kind of wealth that has been passed on to King Charles III. And we've been following the news, tax-free. He will not be paying any taxes on the wealth that he received from his mother. And the source of that wealth yes, the contributions made by the British government, but also what has been passed on to him would be a legacy of slavery. And you have the Mau rebellion and the revolt and how the British responded to this. So many lives were claimed in the process. We have the transatlantic slave trade, which resulted in thousands, if not millions, of slaves having to be uprooted from their homeland to other parts, including the Caribbean. The abuse and torture that they were subjected to, the legacy of this is reflected in the Caribbean, the level of poverty that we are experiencing right now. And in just a moment, you'll be hearing from someone speaking again on the need for reparation. And the individual will tell you that it definitely will not be an easy task. It's one that will be painstaking, that will be arduous. It will not occur overnight, but definitely the need for us to continue to persevere as far as this is concerned. St. Lucia is being, the government and people of St. Lucia is being represented at Her Majesty's State Funeral and Committal Service in London by the Acting Governor General, His Excellency Mr. Cyril Errol M. Charles, also Deputy Prime Minister Dr. Ernest Hilaire, and Ambassador Anthony Savre, High Commissioner of St. Lucia in London. So we are represented there for the funeral service of the Queen. As far as what is happening in the UK, as for considering the burial of the Queen, let me see what the BBC is saying in terms of its coverage. Queen Elizabeth's coffin has been lowered into the Royal Vault in St. George's Chapel in the grounds of Windsor Castle. During the committal service, the crown jewels were taken from it and a ceremonial wand of office broken and put in their place. Earlier, huge crowds lined the route taken by the state hearse as it made its way from London to Windsor with flowers thrown in its path. And this morning, a state funeral service was held at Westminster Abbey, the building in which the Queen was married and crowned. And during his sermon, the Archbishop of Canterbury said that the late Queen touched a multitude of lives during her 70-year reign. And it is one that is getting mixed reactions from various parts of the world. We have a photograph of Dr. Ernest Hilaire in Westminster Alley earlier on today. So those of you watching on Facebook will be able to see. This is where the state funeral service was held for the Queen. And as I said earlier on, representing St. Lucia, the Acting Governor General, as well as the Deputy Prime Minister and the island's High Commissioner to the UK. So this morning, a state funeral service was held at Westminster Abbey, the building in which the Queen was married and crowned. And we just see a photograph there, the Deputy Prime Minister walking through the aisle, participating in that funeral service. So in just a bit, we'll continue to focus on reparative justice, whether there's need for reparation for the descendants of the slave trade. But in the meantime, let's open the lines to take your calls at 452-2979, 452-2979, along with your WhatsApp calls and messages at 716-2026, 716-2026, as we continue our broadcast for yet another day. And the Kings, and in terms of the CPL, they are performing at a very high standard at this time, particularly St. Lucia's Johnson Charles. So far, I'm told, he's scored over 300 runs in the CPL, and the Kings winning their last match last evening. And I hope I'll be able to speak with someone on the performance of the team as well as Johnson Charles during the course of our program. We open the lines right now at 452-2979, 452-2979, along with your WhatsApp calls and messages, 716-2026, 716-2026. Somebody says there, it's all in the name of being diplomatic. That's a WhatsApp message. We have another one which reads, they just show Hilaire on BBC News walking into the church. And the person is claiming that the Governor General didn't attend, but the Governor General, I'm told, is very much in attendance. Another comment. Tim, the UWP lists the election a failure of the infrastructure ministry, and that department is still a failure under the SLP. We have a call. This is NewsSpin. Good afternoon. You are on the air. Okay, well, that's that call. But we have a WhatsApp call. Let me turn my attention to that call via WhatsApp. Hello, good afternoon. You are on the air.
Yes, hello, Tim. Good afternoon. I'm calling from the UK, but
Oui, na kuzo.
I'm very disappointed, honestly. Tim, how connaissez book ça va venir représenter moun et de va venir c'est madame yo. Comme madame c'est book ça, qui calme des bêtises ça, c'est book ça va rapporter mon respect. Tout conseil book ça aller comme madame yo, qu'on respect pour qui ça nous faut in. Tim là faut un ministre in et ben gouvernement premier ministre. Quand là on aller un event quoi, on pour venir madame parce que tout est là. Tout on regarder pour comme madame c'est book ça Tim. Moi voulais me question, moi voulais me c'est book ça. Yo pas pour venir représenter mon c'est madame yo. Sous pleinement de Tim, faire ça, yo pas un droit à représenter mon le pays si yo pas ni madame yo boyo.
Pour qui ça c'est tellement important pour vous? Because pour moi, ça pas important.
Tim, là on dit madame ou bon ou bien représenter. Mon gars porte respect, mon gars doit dans différents levels. Mais tout vini ko vagabond, monsieur il est comme château là, te va tête plier les airs on dit, il pas regarder personne. Tim ça regarder belle tout monde qui boy Premier ministre Canada, regardez vidéo, Premier ministre Canada, Premier ministre Jamaica, tout le monde qui l'a dit madame next to you, il est là pas quoi les lignes là, comme achète c'est les têtes les airs. Qui me just parler présent, il just parler belle. Mon pas comme ça.
OK, well I say qui manière en Angleterre là.
Oh, to me very quiet, tout shop fermé, tout bail fermé ici, very quiet. Tout le monde en repos.
So ou pas regarder les thèmes en pièce?
Non, je regarde la télévision parce que quand le monde qui la bouteille a été difficile. Là, dans chaque monde.
OK.
So, je regarde la télévision. But at least, moi, je still respect mon partenaire, moi.
Oui. Côté celle-ci, où sorti?
Moi, sorti en Valley à Denver.
OK. Combien de temps en Angleterre actuellement?
About 17 years.
17 years. OK. So, qui dernier fois de celle-ci?
Moi, je suis ici 2019.
2019, OK. Eh bien, by beaucoup la chance. Ma ouais en yen ça si un monde qui l'autre pays et qui parle madame li.
Tim c'est c'est pas even ça you know. Pas even ça you know. Minister Simplicity et Caribbean ma connais comme ça. Why you contraire un event ce madame il just pas regarder present. Il pas regarder bon l'on madame bon mon gars pour respect mon gars c'est gentleman. Tim ou vote, les moun vote by moun ou vote by moun pour représenter un pays, représenter moun en proper monnaie. But c'est pour ça qu'on va dire on est là où il y a yo côté pas il just pas bon. Là, moi, je regarde des vidéos à l'Union Team. Regardez la majorité des gens qui étaient là. Dernière fois, mon premier ministre de l'Angleterre qui était là, madame. Tout le monde qui majorité, c'est comme moun. Joe Biden, tout le monde. Comme madame, monsieur, en dehors les termes qui ou quoi venir quoi, Monikia, en Queen, ou quoi venir c'est madame ou comme madame. Qu'on laisse pour ça, côté marché, c'est madame.
Dernier by naidou c'est. Dernier by naidou, les gens qui vote by moun, yo pas vote by madame yo, c'est by moun yo qui vote.
Là, vous vote by un moun ou vote by un moun pour représenter Simplicity. Ou vote by un moun as représenter ou pour représenter tête Simplicity. Il est venu ici à l'étément pour représenter tout le monde qui Simplicity. Premier ministre a battu là, il voyait as a deputy Prime Minister. Il est pour venir properly. Et mon est venu unacceptable. Il va bon.
Okay.
Definitely va bon.
All right. Okay, merci beaucoup. Merci beaucoup. Solution calling from the UK. As we say hello, good afternoon. I think we have another caller line. This is NewsSpin. You're on the air.
Good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon to you, caller.
Mr. Poleon, how are you doing?
I'm okay. How about you, sir?
I am better now.
Mm-hmm.
I want to discuss something. I understand you're talking about the Queen. I understand all what you're talking about. I understand. But I want to touch a different point with you. Mr. Poleon, have you seen this documentary where this individual is describing what he has seen in Lebanon about St. Lucia? That billboards have been put up with the sale of St. Lucian passports.
Mm-hmm.
$100,000 for a St. Lucian passport.
I didn't see a documentary, but I saw just a clip. It wasn't a documentary.
Okay, good. Well, Tim, listen to this. The point is so real. Buying a passport from these people is easy, you know, because these people have money. But the repercussions of that passport being bought, that's what I want to discuss. Because, you see, when it's us here, we've been criticized, we've been done, our people are the worst, we want to hang them, we want to execute them. When these people buy our passports and they go and commit their acts wherever they commit their acts, who gets in the bad reputation?
Well, all of us getting it, all of us.
Okay, but so our government doesn't think of these things before they offer these things, and they call it citizen by investment. I understand that they want to make money, but is that the easiest way for a government to make money? By selling out our country to these people? I'm not saying they are special kind of people, but we know that they cannot travel to different parts of the world because of their reputation. So acquiring a solution passport is so easy that you could just pay for it, and like the clip said, you don't even have to be in St. Lucia to get the passport. Can you believe that?
Is the first time you're hearing that, sir? That's not news. You're making it appear that it's the first time you...
I understand it's not the first time, but does that make sense? When you're talking about crime in St. Lucia and criminal acts, but for me, that's endorsing criminality. It is because these people are known to be committing these kinds of crimes. They are known. So how it is that it's okay for our reputation to be tarnished when it's a foreigner that do it, and when it's us, we can't do it. We can't commit crime. So crime is for foreigners. Because the people that are that, where we're selling our passports is where people say don't want these people to come in the country at all. But
okay. In the chat room, somebody says, brother, it's only the minority that can buy these passports. You have to be very rich. Why are people so fearful?
Okay, that's what they say. But in the minority, so you're telling me, okay, with all due respect, you would consider in St. Lucia that there are people that have $100,000 in St. Lucia, and we are a minority. The money, when you're ready to do the thing, first, the money coming from where it has to come to do it. Don't let this thing fool you about the minority. You would think that poor people are the ones paying all the loans in the bank, you know. Poor people are the ones buying things by cost. What's the state of cost? What's the size of cost? What's how cost is a big company? Not rich people don't go by cost. Rich people bring their stuff down in containers and upload it on the dock and pay one flat rate. A poor man will go by cost. So when you're ready to get the money to do it, you do it. And I want people to understand that it's not I that just say it's like it's not the first time. What I want them to understand is our reputation can be tarnished easily with that citizen by investment thing, but nobody will look at it. So we're looking at it as when we go and commit a crime somewhere. That's when our reputation is being tarnished. But we can get it destroyed easily just that same way also.
Okay, caller. Thank you so much. 452-2979, 452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages, 716-2026. Good afternoon, NewsSpin. You are on the air.
Yes, Tim.
Good afternoon, caller.
Good afternoon, sir. Tim, you know I agree with the first caller, that call from England.
Mm-hmm.
You're talking about at the highest level, you know. A man is the deputy prime minister representing us. This is not soil breaking ceremony I built in a school day and I could put a jeans and a t-shirt and then, you know, I taking a shovel, you know, turning up. No, Tim.
But caller, that to me, that is no. Hold on, caller, hold on. Honestly, I believe that is childish, because I do not believe that people would vote somebody into office to be a parliamentary representative, etc., on the basis of who is their wife or whether they have a wife. There are so many people, whether it's man or woman, who enter into elective politics, they win a seat, and they do not have a husband or do not have a wife. So I don't know why we're making this a big issue. For me, honestly, this is not a big issue at all.
It sounds like a bachelor's kind of thing that go in there, sir. I go into certain places sometimes, and I wish I had a girlfriend to accompany me. You understand? That is the highest, the whole world watching you, deputy prime minister. And then them set of people that don't like white people, they're among how many thousands of white people? You understand? This is not stylish, man. We need to put St. Lucia on the map where our flag is flying high. You understand? And I am not taking it back. This is MPs have to respect themselves. When Steve got the prime minister, what he did, he got married. As much as we just give him flap. And whenever you see these guys go out there, you see the Honorable Stevenson King with his wife, Rosella, used to be accompanying the man. It's high time for people to bring the state respect. I don't really care about Mr. Hille. I consider about state flag. You understand? So supposing one day they have to make an appointment and probably something has to come up where they want to give St. Lucia something. Every time you go, you by yourself, Gasa? and you've seen a lot of world leaders come in there with their wife. That is respect, you know, man. People honoring you when they see your wife, you know, aside you. We have to respect that, Tim. Tim, it's high time we stop that.
Okay, caller. All right. Okay, thank you so much. More on that issue in the chat room in just a moment, but we're due for a break. You are watching NewsSpin on our NewsSpin Facebook page, also on YouTube, NewsSpin SLU, Power 97.9 FM, and we are also on TuneIn.
Born from the same soil, growing stronger.
Raised of our own sweat and toil, doing it together.
I'll bank for you and me,
taking us forward so proudly.
First National Bank, the best of who we are. First National Bank, together we'll go far. The pride of St. Lucia, here to stay.
Growing up, growing stronger, it's a First National way.
Every day we're making better, faster and smarter, convenience like no other.
First National Bank, the best of who we are.
First National Bank, together we'll go far.
We'll go far. For decades, every day, it's clear, it's true.
First National Bank, we're here for you.
Contact Lucelec before trimming or cutting down trees that are near overhead electrical wires. Watch out for power lines before you begin working on a ladder. Be sure that ladders or scaffolds are far enough away so that you and the ends of the tools you're using don't come within 10 feet of power lines. And never use any electrical appliance in wet surrounding outdoors or in the rain.
This message is brought to you by Lucelec, the power of care.
Bundle, yeah. Bundle, floor. Bundle, save. Tap up, yeah. Tap up, mad. Tap up. Look at the place covered. Browse all you want. Post all you want.
Win big with Flow! Tickets to the biggest shows, water park passes, costumes, over $20,000 in cash, data, and more! Activate a 3, 7, or 30-day combo plan. Pay up your bill, switch to Flow, bundle up your chance to win every day!
Bundle, yeah. Bundle, save. Tap up, yeah. Tap up, mad. Tap up. Look at the place covered. Browse all you want. Post all you want. Look at the place covered. Do what you want. Watch what you want.
Bundle now and get a smartphone for only $99. Switch now!
Exceeding your expectations is what we strive for at Lazarus Funeral Home. Losing a loved one isn't something you can foresee. Since the beginning, affordability has been one of our priorities. Every day we're proving that burials don't have to be expensive. If cost is a factor in your time of bereavement, call Lazarus Funeral Home. We have coffins starting at $800 plus taxes. Nothing can cause more disappointment than poor quality. Help us help you keep your last memory of your loved one sacred. Make it special. Make it Lazarus Funeral Home, your friend in a time of need. Located at Bibliotheque Castries at 452-7491 and New Dock Road V4 at 454-6555.
Thank you so much for staying with us. Once again, you are watching NewsSpin on our NewsSpin Facebook page and listening to us on Power 97.9 FM. In just a moment, you'll be hearing from the Prime Minister speaking with reporters earlier on today with regard to the observance paid to the Queen that was scheduled for earlier this morning. I think we have a call in line. Good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin. You are on the air. Hello. Is that P? Yeah, I suspect that's PW.
Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon to you.
Listeners all over the world. As I have always said, welcome to the Banana Republic of St. Lucia. Timothy, first of all, I would like to say two things. Number one, you know, somebody called last week and they were complaining about the money that the government, the St. Lucia Labour Party, or the government, was spending on the sidewalks on the Millennium Highway. You know, actually, I disagree with them. I believe that is money well spent. We need sidewalks on that Millennium Highway as long as it's on one side of the road and not on both sides of the road. There's enough space on actually on that road so that traffic can go through as smoothly as possible. It will not be a 4-lane highway for sure for now. So the sidewalks on actually the left-hand side of the road, that is something the government is doing good. We need sidewalk on that highway, especially people coming from the Millennium Heights Hospital, Timothy. The other thing I would like to say now, so the government, I'd like to commend them on that sidewalk on the Millennium Highway. And I know I've worked on these projects already. After the sidewalk, the road will be paved. So I can see a light at the end of the tunnel that the government will eventually pave that road. The other thing is, I want St. Lucians to know that the invitation that was sent to the Commonwealth countries, it includes that the world leader +1, the Governor General +1, and 10 citizens of the country that are not government officials. Now, I see nothing wrong in if actually the Minister of Tourism wants to attend this actually funeral by himself. We don't know the circumstances why his wife or whatever his loved one could not attend. But this was the exact
Caller, I really don't know.
On the invitation.
I really don't know why we are making a big issue over
should
this.
not make a big
Because what we're saying to somebody, if you are a politician, if you're a government minister, automatically, whether you want to or not, whether you found the right person, you should just get married. Because that is something that is deemed to be acceptable, is keeping with tradition. I don't think you should force people, just because you're a government minister, just because you're the deputy prime minister, just because you're prime minister, to be married. I don't see the point in that at all, because you elect people on the basis of their ability to represent the interests of the country, not on the basis of whether they have a wife or not.
That is what I am saying. You know, I am not the person that would oppose everything a party does because I'm not a supporter of that party. If it's, as they say in the Patois Palace, Sibo, Dibo, Sipabo, Dipabo. Timothy, I thank you.
All right, sir. Thank you so much. Let's see if we have more of your messages in the chat room. Somebody says, I totally agree. We need the sidewalk. This is a dangerous road, referring there to the sidewalks on the Millennium Highway. Good afternoon. NewsSpin, you are on the air. Hello?
In one of Shakespeare's plays, I don't remember it offhand now, he talks about things about rising men, causing men to rise and mutiny. I suspect that you sit down and you figure out, what can I come up with as a subject that will get myself in.
No. I was the one who brought this issue up, eh? Rick, I wasn't the one who brought this issue up on the program.
What issue?
Whatever we're talking about, whether a guy has to need to have a wife.
Look, man, how you know what I'm talking about?
Which one are you talking about? The 49 seconds of silence?
But you point over on me right away. How guilty you are.
Which one? The 49 seconds? The 49 seconds of silence?
On a more serious note, Tim, I was fully honest. On a more serious note, I can understand the emotions of St. Lucians overseas in particular, looking at all these Trudeau and all these people with their wives and so on and so on. Those people are not there because they decided I'm going to get a ticket and go there, you know. These people are invited as government representatives and so on and so on. And obviously, if they know that the man is married, they will say Mr. and Mrs. whatever. These people are not there just like that. Otherwise, that cathedral would be full of everybody all over the place. Those people are actually invited, and I have no doubt the government of St. Lucia was invited, and that the protocol people here, the foreign affairs people, would say who's coming.
Right.
And so let's get on to nitty-gritty to be logical. Supposing Hilaire was was gay.
Mm-hmm.
Supposing Hilaire was gay, he wouldn't have a wife with him, right?
No.
And if he was if he married, let's say in the States, he married some guy in the States.
Because it can't happen. He cannot marry in St. Lucia.
Right. So let's say he married in the States, and he came in there with his wife.
Mm-hmm. With his
guy.
Yeah.
With his they call them wife, huh?
Yeah.
Or is it husband and
I think they call husband, yeah. Husband and husband.
They call husband and husband.
Yeah, husband and husband.
And the man walked in there proudly with his husband. I wonder what the St. Lucia thing might be. Because, by the way...
There would be an uproar. There would still be an uproar.
By the way, we're not far from that, Etim, because we follow suit. Almost everything we thought would not happen in St. Lucia is happening now, and normally we copy America. Am I right?
We do, yes.
Okay, so I can understand the emotion with this guy, and when you're living overseas, I've been there, Tim, you become revolutionary, you become, you St. Lucian. I even wrote about that in my book, Blue Right in the Morning. So something happens to St. Lucians when they go overseas and see how, because by and large, the St. Lucian is not involved in the real happenings of the UK or the States. You know that?
Yes.
They are bystanders for the most part. For the most part. But there is a certain pride. It doesn't matter what party. That's what happens overseas. And I'm speaking from experience from both the United States and UK for years and years. There's a certain pride in seeing your representative, your island representative. That time you forget all about party and seeing them in particular company representing your country. That's when you really feel proud. You put party aside. A wonderful thing, I think. So I understand the emotions being expressed there this morning. But we got to go on with our emotions. There's got to be some kind of intellect attached to it. And the matter of Hilaire being by himself there, I mean, you can't make any noise about it. As far as I know, the man is not married. Isn't that true?
Yeah, he's not married.
But, he's not married.
But Rick, I don't know. What's the big deal? What really is the big deal about this?
Let us deal with the subject, not big deal about how you and I feel. Let's deal with the fact. The man is not married, so he can't produce a woman to hang on his arm there because he can't do that. It's not done.
Okay, let's imagine he has a girlfriend. Or he had his girlfriend there, which would not be permissible, right? I don't think as far as protocol.
As I opened this conversation, I told you those people are invited. So if he were to, they would know he's coming with a woman, whether it's a live-in girlfriend or not. And they wouldn't make any fuss. That is how the world has moved. Your living partner, your living lover, that's how it is. I mean, men marry men and men have girlfriends they live with. They don't have to get married. That is their woman. When Prince Charles was going everywhere with Camilla, they weren't married, you know.
They weren't, no.
Of course. So and so it goes. So we must understand and we must be reasonable that Hilaire, as far as I know, does not have a wife. And if he had a wife, he could have chosen not to bring her. And the people who invited him would know all of that. That's the protocol.
But I think also we're too hypocritical in this country on certain issues.
I was coming to that.
Yeah, because I mean, so many people in leadership positions in this country, they are married, then they have their jabal, etc. They have outside children. They have children outside the marriage. So
some of them even have very unsavory reputations with women.
Yeah.
And we know all of that. That's okay. Some of them have reputations that have to do with the police. Well, that's okay with us. Yeah, so, there is some hypocrisy going on there. I quite agree with you. There was another point I was going to make. I seem to have forgotten it. But these things might sound silly, but they are worth when we have the opportunity to break them down. Now, one of the callers had another issue besides just the wife and whatever. You remember what it was?
I can't remember the other point. No, I can't remember.
Anyway,
yeah.
Maybe for another time. But I think, are you going to go into that slave thing? I hope not, Tim, because that subject is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Okay, I hope it doesn't go too long on that slave thing about where the Queen got the money from and who helped, etc. I think maybe you should devote 2 shows to that for education purposes. But anyway, thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much. 452-2979, 452-2979, your WhatsApp calls and the messages. Somebody says that, Tim, I think there is an issue I need to resolve. I have a 5-year-old boy. He attends the SDA grade K infant school because of his long hair on his head. They kick him out of the learning institution. When are many more boys, and there are many more boys in that same school with that same haircut with long hair, and my son was the first to be triggered because our parents, as a parent, apparently the tattoo on my hands and the locks on his dad's head was too offensive for them, but the others, they still going to school, and my son, they kicked him out and kept half of my $410. I paid for a term. He did 9 days in the school, and they took so much from me for 9 days he spent in the school, and that's not fair. I work hard for my money to send him there. I think we have a call. Good afternoon. Thanks for holding on. NewsSpin, you are on the air. Okay, we lost that call. 452-2979, 452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages. Good afternoon. You are on the air.
Good afternoon, Tim.
Hi. Good afternoon to you, caller.
How you doing, Tim?
I'm okay.
Tim, I listened to Philip J. saying about the last month I run election for there was him again.
For the SLP? For the EWP?
EWP.
Herod Stanislas?
Right. I heard that one Philip J. saying that man do nothing for support him. Philip J. have the guts to say that man do nothing for support. And so much thing that man doing support. So much work that man doing support. And Philip J. have the guts to say that man do nothing for support him. Tim. But I know what's wrong with Free JP and his crew. But then first have some serious problem, Tim. And Tim, next thing again, Tim. If honestly I am what his wife to go in England in the Queen burial, he's supposed to bring the boyfriend if I'm what a wife. Bring your
okay, caller. All right. Thank you so much for calling. Somebody says, I'd like to thank minibus driver M1074 Millet Route for getting some young boys to help him fill in the holes with sandbags on the Sarat-Fana Bridge. The heavy rain caused the river to overflow, damaging the bridge further over the weekend. We have a call. Good afternoon, NewsSpin, you're on the air.
Kim.
Hi, good afternoon, Tim.
Been a long time.
Thanks for calling,
but
sir.
I listen every day. How you doing, man?
I'm okay. How about you?
I'm doing good, Tim. Let me tell you, I just had to call today. Why? I just don't understand why people are making a big deal about whether a minister or prime minister or whatever they are has to be married to hold that position. Or if they go to a funeral, they have to bring their wives and whatever. Was Angela Merkel married?
No. Let me tell you, I think that's all part of the whole colonial thing, you know. All right? Yeah. Our masters put that in our heads. You know, you must be married, must be wearing a suit, you must be wearing a tie, you know, just for the image. If you're not married, you're not married. You're the deputy prime minister. Are you saying that just because of his position, he has to run to say, I'm going to marry you just because that is what is expected of me to have that position? No, I disagree. I disagree with that.
That's just a form of control. And today, I really see you stick by that because it makes absolutely no sense. Okay? There's this young lady, I'm not too sure if it's this Swedish prime minister or whatever her name is, that was in a party the last time and took selfies and it went viral and stuff. Is she married?
I don't think she is.
Yeah, but she's doing a good job, isn't she?
Yes, as far as
you see,
the country folks are concerned.
Some things are just meant to control. Tim, it's a matter of control. You understand? Because this powerful country or this person say that, it should be done for everybody. This is ridiculous. And we need to stop. We need to stop that. We need to stop that. Anyway, Tim, have a good one.
You too, sir. You know, we will do anything to get at our political enemies. That's what we do. Good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin. You're on the air. Hello.
Good afternoon, Tim.
Hi.
Good afternoon, Tim.
Good afternoon, you caller.
You know, I'm sick and you're supposed to know who is talking. Here is a homeboy and he went and represent us, you know. He went and represent us. You know, Hila is not married. He went on, he's deputy prime minister. So he went and represent both himself on the government and the people of St. Lucia. We're making a big issue out of that now. Today, Monday, the whole week says Saugaton. The whole week says Saugaton. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much. And it started in the UK. A caller from the UK did express disappointment with the fact that he saw Hilaire on television. He was solo. He did not have his wife with him, etc. And definitely, he believes that according to tradition and all that, certainly he is not providing us with the kind of representation that is expected, because he saw the Prime Minister of Canada there with his wife, another Prime Minister. So, you know, go find yourself a wife just because you want to please people. Good afternoon. NewsSpin, you are on the air. We lost that call. 452-2979, 452-2979. Your WhatsApp calls and messages, 716-2026. We already have a call. Hello, good afternoon. You're on the air. Hello. And my colleague just sent me a WhatsApp message. But isn't Mia Motley unmarried? Yeah, Mia Motley, the Prime Minister of Barbados, is not married. Thank you so much, Kimani. Good afternoon. You are on the air.
Good afternoon, Tim. How was your weekend?
Very good, sir. Good afternoon to you.
Tim, I just want to add my 2 cents.
Okay, somebody, hold on. Somebody just said that Angela Merkel is married. Okay, thank you, sir. Go ahead.
Yeah, I always want to add my 2 cents to the whole debate about leaders being married or not married. Now, I'm pro-choice. I mean, if you want to get married, you get married. If you don't want to get married, you don't have to get married. There's nothing compulsory. That's if you're a private citizen. But when you are a leader of the country, this is where the line is drawn. People look up to their leaders to be exemplary. You agree with that, Tim?
Yeah, listening to you. I'm listening. But Kola, we'd have to be hypocritical about this whole thing. We don't have to pretend we're holier than thou, because this, hold on, Kola, this is not a theocracy. We're not governed by religion, okay?
Listen to my point. In the United States of America, when a president is elected, what do they regard their wives as? Not first ladies?
Yeah.
And they look at the electorate, the American citizens, when they elected a president, they would expect that person to be stable. Agree or not, Steve? Whether financially or family-wise. So imagine Joe Biden, who is the United States president, is not married. Who's going to?
Yeah, but it does not apply in St. Lucia. We make reference. I think when hold on. When Mr. Shastny was Prime Minister, we made reference, described his wife as the First Lady. But as far as protocol is concerned in St. Lucia, it does not make provision for a First Lady. Okay?
Yeah, but yes, in the Constitution may not make provisions, but it's all about looking up to your leaders and being exemplary. That's the point I'm trying to make to you.
We don't have a government where we rule in the name of God. It's not a theocracy, Gola.
I agree.
I think we're nitpicking on that issue. I honestly believe we're nitpicking.
It's all about, no, Tim, listen to me. If you
about what? Perception?
Country, not just perception, we're looking at it on the standpoint of we look up to our leaders to be examples. I am saying, if we want to impart good morals, good ethics in our society.
But since when we care so much about morals, caller? If we care so much about morals, we should not be having children outside of marriage. If we care about morals, let's be consistent about this.
Yes, we have to be consistent. We know that, Tim. But what I'm saying, when you're a private citizen, Tim, you're a private citizen. When you're in leadership positions, there's certain things that is expected of you. This is the point I'm trying to make to you, Tim. There's certain things that is
But we have had so many government ministers who are not married, caller. We've had many ministers, both male, female, were not married.
But see, remember, Ernest Hilaire is beyond just an honorary government minister. He's the deputy prime minister. If anything, God forbid, happens to Philip JP, who is next in line to be prime minister? I mean, that is something reasonable to understand.
Who is next in line?
It will be, common sense to tell you, Tim, if he's the man is deputy prime minister. That's the reason that he may be the prime minister.
He may, but the Constitution does not say automatically he will be the prime minister. Because when Sir John Compton was ailing in hospital, Many people thought that Mr. Leonard Motut was his deputy, would have been prime minister. When did he become prime minister? Stevenson King.
Yes, I'm not saying it's an automatic thing. I'm just saying that I use the word carefully. All I'm saying is this, Tim. We're not nitpicking. It's not an issue that we should dwell on too much. There's so many pertinent issues in the country. All I'm saying is when you're in leadership positions, particularly a deputy prime minister, there's certain things that's expected of you to be exemplary. And I'm saying when you're not in that position, people look up to some sort of stability, family-wise and otherwise, financial-wise and otherwise.
But Colin, no wonder we discriminate against people. I suspect there's a lot of discrimination taking place in St. Lucia because a woman or a man is not married. When society would believe that because of their age, because of their stature, they should be married. Or maybe they don't have a family, they should have children, so we discriminate against them. But anyway.
No, Tim,
Caller.
The point I'm making the point I'm making to you, Ernest Healy or our leaders, they're not ordinary citizens. When you're an ordinary citizen, I mean, certain things can fly. For example, let me draw one example, Tim, and I will end on that. Would it be acceptable for the Prime Minister to urinate in public?
Well, that's a different issue because it is against the... No. That's indecent exposure and everything of that nature. It is against the law. So it is not against the law. Caller, it's not against the law to be the deputy prime minister or government minister and you're not married.
It's against the law to urinate in public, whether you're a private citizen or not. That's accepted. But I'm just saying it will be even more glaring that if the prime minister I'm just saying, using that as an example, urinates in public. The point I'm making is when you're in leadership positions, there's certain things that is expected of you. People look up to you for good ethics and morals. This is the point I'm drawing to you.
Well, in our context, there's nothing immoral about being deputy prime minister and not being married. Nothing immoral about that, caller. All right? Thank you so much.
Immoral.
Yeah, let's not discuss morality, especially in our backyard in St. Lucia, caller. Let's not do that because there'll be no end to us looking at things from that particular perspective. 452-2979, 452-2979, your WhatsApp calls and messages. We have a WhatsApp call coming from the diaspora. As we say hello, good afternoon, you are on the air.
Good afternoon, Tim.
Good afternoon.
I am listening to this idiotic conversation, and I thought I need to throw a penny into it as well. It really baffles the mind that in 2022 we are still having these baseless, almost gutter politics types of conversations. This appeal to selective morality and blah 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 blah. Ernest Hilaire was the same Ernest Hilaire before he got elected, and St. Lucians elected him with the exact same expectations that he has now. Whether he's married or unmarried, with a partner or without a partner, he was that way before he got elected, and we elected him. There are other people from other parties, including the SLP and the WP, who are either married or unmarried, with partners, without partners, cheating or not cheating, stealing or not stealing, doing all kinds of things, and we elected them. So the assumption that suddenly it's about morality doesn't even fly, doesn't even make sense, because those same considerations don't come into play when we're making those important decisions. Instead, we prefer to do something vai and then come back now and react, because what we're looking for is not really the morality. We're looking for rural. We're looking for soaps. We want something, some cancan to discuss today. We want something flagrant and in your face to discuss. We want something insipid and something that's fallacious and something, all kinds of things to come and discuss and see that we heard about it on the radio and make it part of our conversation throughout the day. Even when that pertains to crime, when we think about crime, it's not about trying to solve crime. It's about, did you know, did you hear about the latest, and did you see the pictures, and did you see the videos? But in public, we're going to express moral outrage. In private, we're doing worse than Ernest Hilaire, or worse than some of our politicians. But in public, we pretend like we're holier than thou and doing all kinds of other things in the background. Instead, our conversation should be, and that's what I suggest to us, what are you doing to support the young child down the street from you? What are you doing to support the positive development of your own child, educationally and otherwise? How are you supporting and helping the young men on the block that you keep talking about? How are you? Those are the kinds of things that we could do to actually arrest crime by being a positive influence on one person, just one person. The generation that's to come is not going to change because it wants to change. We have to invest in the generation, and the investments that we make is not these petty conversations. It's actually holding ourselves first accountable. And as we hold ourselves accountable and to a higher standard, we force our leaders, we demand that our leaders rise to meet that standard. But as it stands, most of us don't even know our standards because we have no standards. We allow anything to happen, and we elect anything and anybody, and we allow anything and anybody as long as it benefits us. So these conversations to me are by the side conversations, and they will result in nothing except us just talking. What's really going to do some work is actually us stepping out of our comfort zones and actually making something happen. Thank you very much, Tim.
Thank you so much. Calling from the diaspora, we have another call in line. Good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin. You are on the air. Hi. Good afternoon to you, caller.
Tim, for the referring to God. See, but I keep on criticizing, I say that I go back. I'm not saying what they are really about monkey, my monkey. I did see it. Bon, Tim, bon. Now, Tim, Molly have. But I've seen a nouvelle. Moi, je regardé avec ça. Moi, the crystal ball, we can Bible.
Ça c'est vieille nouvelle, gars. Ça est nouvelle qui, that's still. We've heard that already.
So, moi, je find out about section of the customs policy. Moi, je sais it's prohibited. So.
Nakutowe.
Molisa is because you know, since I got any quality, because I got any crystal ball. It's been found on the summer. That's when you the soon like I locally leave that guy for side. And I'm not saying you leave it. You might turn. Now it's a book. So as about the section on rustic the customs. Ça y est. Et tu me là, mais vous, tu me la belle? Non.
Because ça c'est vieux loin. So peut-être ça, you made ça là dit mon $1,000 bill, ça c'est cher là.
Mais dis, aujourd'hui le tu bail, moi pour tu bail bon cinéma hein.
Oui.
Aujourd'hui tu as dit où peut pas ça entre avec pour TV.
Oui.
Ouais. Now see muda mo plus gros nombre so, plus gros passé, right? Now mun te ko mo te plus gros so, mais on te presque même l'âge. Il a quitté mon souhait. You got to for the war because of now. But tu ça à terme ouais ça quand il dit une censorship et censorboard. C'est une ça l'internet là. Moun. La journée tout fait. Donc pourquoi c'est ça qu'il a actuellement? Pourquoi ça le challenge by ça about di ba ko non ba tan mais bugla di ba la kay li whatever it is why got to speak here whatever on bugla di ko politique we had o ale bi
qui professional magistrat kay ni pour aider décider ka ça on est pour ni un monde qui connaît about by obia by voodoo by quoi pour condamner ici
oui
vous tapez guilty.
Oui, je vais créer pour me garder. Mon qui savent about by ça. Et mon qui savent mon qui savent right là à quel autre chose.
Moi j'espère que c'est beaucoup là ni un bon avocat ça pas aller vers ce côté là ça.
Où ça c'est ça maintenant ça. Ça maintenant.
Oui.
So tu peux faire même quand dans dans quoi tu peux faire même dans le tu vas on va savoir by vis. Actuellement parce que ça l'internet là tu pas tout my avec ça l'internet là so ça c'est go blague. So j'ai bonne journée.
Merci. Time now for our NewsSpin news of the day. Our NewsSpin news of the day. And it reads, China is testing a magnet-powered floating car that goes up to 143 miles per hour. Our NewsSpin news of the day, China is testing a magnet-powered floating car that goes up to 143 miles per hour. Still to come on the broadcast, we'll be hearing from the Prime Minister of Barbados speaking on the need for reparation.
Lazarus's Funeral Home is here for you. Lazarus's Private Cemetery offers a peaceful resting place for your loved ones. With tranquil settings, visitation, and reflection, we believe in the compassionate care of all our departed loved ones. Lazarus's Private Cemetery, let us help you create a final resting place. Make it special. Make it Lazarus's Funeral Home, your friend in a time of need. Payment plans are available for tombs. Call us in Vidbuta at 452-7491 or in New Dock Road, VA4, 454-6555.
Night Meds is your dependable neighborhood pharmacy. You'll notice that upon entry, you are greeted by caring professional staff, attentive to your every need. Your prescriptions are always treated with a high degree of confidentiality, and we pride ourselves on providing speedy, efficient service. We carry a wide array commonly requested over-the-counter products, and our prices are very competitive. We offer blood pressure testing, blood sugar, and cholesterol testing. We're open to fill your prescriptions Monday to Saturday from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Come visit Salu's gas station on the Miku Highway or call us at 572-6840 or WhatsApp 461-6840 for more information. Night Meds Pharmacy. We are your community med store.
Lucilec aveti ou pour point précaution durant saison cyclone Salah. Mi un petit commission qui kaywen de ou protéger la vie ou ek propriétaire ou. Couiller Lucilec avant ou trim et ben couper pied bois qui pouet ligne électrique. Veillez pour ligne courant électrique avant ou monter l'échelle. Fait assurer l'échelle, scaffold et bout d'outil ou ka servi pas venir moins qui 10 pieds hors ligne courant électrique. Pas jamais servi appliance et ben outils qui ka servi courant électrique. Des wall côté qui mouillé et ben en la pli. Ça c'était en commission hors Lucilec.
We heard you, and now we are answering. Elks City of Castries Cooperative Credit Union is happy to offer you, our valued customers, the most amazing deal to own your piece of St. Lucia. From now until December 31st, enjoy an interest rate of 4.5% with a deposit of 5% to help you purchase house and land only, or put up a structure on your existing property. And it gets better. Legal fees are included in your mortgage. Call us at 452-6820 or 453-2951 or email us at info@elkscreditunion.com. Terms and conditions apply. Elks City of Castries Cooperative Credit Union, building a stronger community, one member at a time.
Sunday, October 2nd, all roads head to the CPJ Car Park in Cul-de-Sac for the CPJ Food and Beverage Festival to kick off Creole Month. It's the best of both worlds with great tasting food, beverages from around the world, and music. Performances by Umpa, Shemi J, Derv Too Funny, Kuya, Ras Africa, Biz Your Band, Tedison John, The Secret Band, and your DJs, Levi Chin, DJ Pro Styles, DJ Baba Roots, Lychee Sounds, DJ Collation, and A1 Jugglers. Hosted by Ezra, The Fun Machine. Get your early bird tickets now for only $30 from the Cell and CPJ outlets. It's the CPJ Food and Beverage Festival, October 2nd from 2 p.m. to midnight at the CPJ parking lot, Cul-de-Sac.
The process of concluding the debate on reparatory justice and asking for reparations will not happen in one fell swoop, but it is going to happen over a period of time. The University of Glasgow has already entered into arrangements with the University of the West Indies to make recompense for what they believe was their role in slavery. There are other institutions that we will be approaching, and the truth is that in the United Kingdom, Christopher Codrington, all of us know Codrington College, Christopher Codrington had, his society was called the Society for the Propagation of the Gospel. Set up the school that Jerome and all them lodge boys went to. But it was, and him too, sorry. But the problem is that it also exploited the labor of our ancestors. And it also extracted wealth from our ancestors. And it took it up to Oxford and helped form All Souls College, and we can go on with all of the other institutions and all of the enough property that they own in central London as the Society for the Propagation of Gospel. And we have to systematically map now and to carry out the argument. And the reason why I was having the conversation is that we are partnering with other entities who also legitimately believe in the reparatory campaign and who will help us structure it out with the work that Sir Hilary and others have done, and with the work that we must now further populate it with. The Church of England is also awaiting, and ironically the Commissioner for the Church of England in England is a Bajan, Alan Smith from HSBC Bank, who's in charge of risk there. And we anxiously await that report from the Church of England looking at its own forensic report about its own property, etc. Ironically, I forget Sunita's last name, one of our Barbadians is also a principal of a college that would have tried to remove some of the artifacts, and the court of the church said they were legitimately there. And obviously that kind of tension and battle is now taking place in the UK. So that this issue is very much a work in progress, but it is not going to happen overnight. And sorry for the long response, but there's no short way of nuancing and giving you the details of it. It is very much a work in progress for Barbados as a state, but also for Barbados leading on behalf of the Caribbean with the Prime Ministerial Subcommittee on Reparations, as we are doing. And therefore, our interest is not just the United Kingdom, but even Denmark had slaves. Most people know about France and Spain and Belgium and Portugal, but even Denmark had slaves at one time. And this country, as I said, can't really run from the imperialistic behavior either.
Prime Minister of Barbados, Mia Mottley, speaking to Barbadians over in the United States during the weekend, I think it was yesterday, addressing a range of issues, including the need for reparation as a result of the slave trade. Let's continue with your calls at 452-2979, 452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. Good afternoon. This is NewsSpin. You're on the air.
Tim, me again. Remember when that woman was running her first term in Barbados? It was like tomorrow was election, and then myself and you were talking. Let me remind you, I tell you, Tim, this woman is going to win tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
And when the tomorrow comes, I tell you, Kim, you see what happened? And she won. And look, she make it very short. She called a snap election before her 5 years, and she won again. That woman is a genius. And I want that woman to be a genius to the Caribbean. Now, the next election, I have two people in mind. Two female in mind. I'm just going to mention one. You see, Emma? I want Emma, although I don't know if Pierre is going to make a second term. But give me Emma Hippolyte, my next Prime Minister. That I give me.
Okay, thank you so much. Somebody says via a WhatsApp message, youth economy is a slogan. There are more guns, broken society. There are more guns, broken society, high food import bills, no plans. Very recently we were hitting pans, but we keep ignoring the sounds of falling metal coming from the stadium stands. As for where the stadium stands, we keep hearing new plans to remove the St. Jude Hospital from where it is right now. Do we have a call? We do. Good afternoon, NewsSpin. You're on the air.
From where it is right.
Timothy, just give me 5 seconds. 5 seconds.
Go ahead, Gola. Go ahead.
Give me 5 seconds. Timothy, PW here. Timothy, I would like to advise the United Workers' Party supporters to not to imitate and mimic Peter Alexander and Shazi by criticizing everything the St. Lucia Labour Party does. Today, that's a non-issue about Ernest Hilaire. The guy has the right to attend the funeral of Her Majesty all by himself. Please, don't discuss that, because that's a non-issue. You, the United Workers' Party, will look, including me, will look like people that will criticize everybody. Timothy, I thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Once I messaged him, the ridiculous focus on marital status at official ceremonies underscores why our country cannot make any progress. The level of discourse by many of our populace is shameful. How does any of this serve to improve our economy, reduce crime, address the needs of our communities? And it is fueled by many who should know better. All right, let's see if we have another message there. Somebody says, good afternoon. Knowing St. Lucian's, first thing they will say after the country don't have money, he takes his wife to the funeral. St. Lucians are just hypocrites. First time in your shoes. Shaking my head. We have another one there. Somebody says, Tim, in this new dispensation, this is a non-issue. There are many examples of world leaders at the highest level who are not married, and that includes prime ministers. Wish we would talk about serious bread and butter issues for and about our failing St. Lucian economy. We are all sounding like those we elect to represent us in parliament. Talk, and nothing comes out of it. Shaking my head. Vladimir Putin, I don't think he's married. We have a call.
Yeah.
This is NewsSpin. Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon, Mr. Timothy.
Good afternoon to you, caller.
And how you doing, sir?
I'm okay. How about you?
Yeah. Mr. Timothy, I think I have a sight of a draft of what you were trying to say there about the thing. But let me tell you, the Queen's funeral, you know, St. Lucia has an obligation under any administration, whether it could have been yellow, red. I'm a red man, but in that state, to have sent any of their diplomatic people or man like Ernest here under his ministry and under his portfolio to go and represent St. Lucia in the state funeral. Because the Queen of Majesty visited St. Lucia. I think I was almost about 14 years. I'm almost 50. And they have the right under that pattern, any country of the world. And no matter what ups and downs that the Queen had with any country that she visited, it's on the mindset of who is representing, but they have a right to think. But you see, St. Lucians, they think so petty. They think like, well, anything is political. But really and truly, now we're going to hit on some social issues of this country there today, my brother. We're looking at, as I tell you, I'm a red shirt. I'm not afraid of myself. But we need this country to be a little bit more holistic. Create employment. Meet up to the needs of the people. Don't set yourself into mindsets like projects. Because remember, last time I lamented on the carnival. Yes, you spent $7 million in carnival. And you still gave everything duty-free. But what are the mindset of the needs of the people? There are people with a mindset that have a frame that want to do what they want to do. And when you want to go into community development, does that government put anything in place for community development, meeting up to the needs of the people? That is what we want in the country. Agriculture. You understand? Look right now, Timothy, I will talk to you real. Because you can't voir moi. But I will say it right now in English. We have a marijuana industry in this country. And all little countries have already set a thing there where we can send Caribbean weed to places like New Zealand, Asian Pacific, where they can use this weed for medical purposes, and right here in St. Lucia. So wouldn't this create a sense that people would have gotten a sense of employment for them to live? But we have this Caribbean government. Look today what they're doing, ravishing our lands, our beachlands for tourists, white, discriminating our people. That is what they're doing, discriminating our own locals. Look at Sabusha for today. There was a little place when you go down the big hill where that cave is there, that ancient cave. People used to have a beach fest, you have a hotel. Sabusha. This is what we want to stop in the country. We don't want no fight down in this country. We want to live in this country, man. We want to live in this country. And we have governments over governments. What they are doing, blood suckers. They're sucking the bloods of the people, feeding the people. And they're not meeting up to the rich of the people, my brother. And that is what we want in this country. We want equal rights plus justice. We want to live in this country. but we're just there, as if we're there. St. Lucia is nowhere, you know. St. Lucia is just about one back door behind Haiti. What we have for we to keep our resources and keep ourselves alive. We just follow fashion in, looking at different refugee of different countries like the U.S. and trying to cope ourselves. We nowhere, my brother.
Well, as far as the follow fashion is concerned, Cole, I like to agree with you, particularly with regard to foreign direct investment. Always inviting people to come up and set up businesses in St. Lucia. When those businesses fold, then a number of our people have to be retrenched, have to be sent home. In some cases, they're not even paid their benefits. We have the CBI, sorry, and many other countries have the same initiative. Go ahead, sir.
Brother, you want me to talk to you? Look, right now, the cost of living have gone up in this country. And the basic needs of people like St. Jude working there as janitors, $700 a month. Can $700 sustain a family? With a madam and 2 children. Man, I don't even want to talk again. And that's what we want to meet. Because that's why we wanted change. You know, one of the Caribbean leaders I have really admired, they can say what they say about her is Mia Samotri. And right now we need a female direction in this country. The males, I think the balls, man, getting a little frozen. It's breaking, man. We need female direction in this country. We need a female leader to run this country of St. Lucia, and I end it there like that, man.
Okay, thank you so much, caller. Well, as a second male caller, we have heard advocating for us to have a female prime minister. The first one did recommend Philip J. Pierre, at least if he's not contesting the next general election, to have Emma Hippolyte as the leader of the St. Lucia Labour Party, and then if the SLP wins, for her to be the island's first female prime minister. But whether having a female prime minister in the St. Lucia context would make a difference, because politicians are politicians. When they get into office, what they normally do is to maintain the status quo. They're not about changing things. They're not about rocking the boat. They're not about making new and innovative decisions, taking innovative decisions, making serious changes that would definitely ensure that we improve for the better, as opposed to continuing to, govern in the same way or the predecessors, the leaders before did govern the affairs of the country. We have a call. Good afternoon. NewsSpin, you're on the air. Hello.
Timothy, how are you?
I'm okay, caller. Good afternoon to you.
Okay, I'm one of your big fans.
Thanks for calling.
But anyway, I'm just listening to your regular guy calling. You know who he is. And think about what he said. He's saying if the guy dies or something happens to the prime minister, Eli will be the prime minister. Eli needs to be careful not having a wife. But he himself doesn't realize Philip J. Pierre himself doesn't have a wife. I don't know what he's saying, because you're already in that position. So please tell your callers they need to think before they call. But thanks for listening. I'm doing my survey tonight. All right?
Oh, okay. Thank you so much for calling, sir. Again, I don't know what the big issue is about our politicians and ministers and prime ministers having a wife. I don't know what impact that would have on them and their stewardship. It is just sending some kind of signal, creating an impression, but I don't know in the end whether that is something that should be obligatory, something that is mandatory. If you're going to be the prime minister, you must have a wife. If you're going to be a government minister or parliamentary representative, you must have a wife. Now, that is discriminatory. Okay? The prime minister of Barbados, Mia Mottley, does not have a husband. Is that preventing her from performing? Is that preventing her from eloquently discharging her duties? Is that preventing her from being very impressive on the world stage? Very soon, I think, maybe some people would force the authorities to enact legislation. As far as our Election Act is concerned, not only do you have to have $250 to pay so that you can participate in the elections as a nomination fee, but also, and you have to be a certain age, I think 21, etc., etc. But you also must be married. That's where we're going as far as some St. Lucians are concerned. I think sometimes in some cases we are hypocritical and we are just too traditional. All right, let's see what's happening in the chat room. Lots of your discussions, including one individual presenting me with a marriage proposal. So the individual has been begging me to respond to this. Okay, so I'll just make reference to it. All right, so somebody's saying, Tim, I want to marry you. You really? I don't even know how to respond to this particular one, you know, because I am a handful. I could tell you that. I am a handful. All right, let's leave it at that. Let's see if we could have go through some of your other comments in the chat room. Let's see. A young female for Prime Minister. We don't want any old woman. All right? Okay, let's not get into ageism and all that. Because things are old, but people are not old. You have senior citizens, you have mature individuals, but you don't have old people. All right, let's see if we have another WhatsApp message that I could go through, or a message that's in the chat room. Lots of comments there. While again, we are waiting your calls at 452-2979, 452-2979. And the person says, hey, Tim. Another person says, look at Natalie Ann Menard. Another person says, Tim, you take that one Labour man thing about Emma being Prime Minister and you are commenting on that. Can one man make Emma Prime Minister? Another person says, small-minded people are worried about who Hilaire went with or without. Real thinkers are worried about what he is coming back with, what mandate, commands, instructions is he going to be handed. All right, let's see if we have, do we have a call? No, we don't. All right, okay. So let's see. In terms of your WhatsApp contributions, if we have a contribution I can go through at this point in time. All right, let me turn my attention to some other developments. We have discussed a whole host of issues. Something that I believe that really should not have been a dominant matter this afternoon did make the headlines on NewsSpin. We have a call via WhatsApp. As we say hello and good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin. You're on the air. We have a call via WhatsApp. As we say hello and good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Tim.
Yes, caller.
I'm going to play a little bit of devil's advocate.
Mm-hmm.
I am 83 years of age. And I would like to tell a lot of people, election doesn't change anything. You only change people in the system to operate the same system. Because if election was changing things, the system which we've got now is the daughter of slavery. Understand it quite clearly. Capitalism is the daughter of slavery. So when we elect people to run the system, they run the same system which we've got now. So election does not change anything.
What we do is to change the players.
What we do is to change the players.
Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you so much, 83-year-old caller to the program, saying that election does not change anything because you still have the same system. You have the same processes that are being employed to tackle the same problems that we have in our country. All right. Let's see if we can talk some cricket on this afternoon's broadcast, because our team, St. Lucia Kings, I think they're known as, they've been doing very well, and in particular our own Charles. He has been doing very well consistently, batting and scoring over the last few matches. Let's see if we can establish contact with Joseph Reds Pereira, well-known cricketer, not cricketer, but cricket commentator, sorry. And let's see if we can speak with him on Johnson Charles and the St. Lucia Kings. up to last evening, they won their encounter, and I'm sure we're looking forward to great things from them during the next few matches. But concerned over Johnson Charles in particular because he's been selected to participate in the T20 World Cup to represent the West Indies team. Okay. All right, so Reds is not available. Let's see if we have a call. Good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin. You on the air. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello.
Hi.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, caller.
Team of people, I really believe Senusha need a prime minister, a woman.
We need a female prime minister.
Yeah, we need a female prime minister.
Why? Will that make a difference? How much of a difference will that make, sir?
That would make a big difference because to me, these guys are already here. And women, to me, women take business more serious. Women take things more serious than men. And I believe women need to put themselves more into politics. Women need to send themselves forward. To me, to my liking, because my whole life living, I never know a woman try and go up as a prime minister for the country.
Well, it happened with Dr. Marla Joseph. I think it was in 2001. She led the United Workers' Party. But if you had somebody in mind to be our next prime minister and the first female prime minister of St. Lucia, who would that be? Anyone at all. Does not have to be somebody in politics right now.
Well, to tell you the truth, I would like to see somebody new, a young person. A young person. We need some more young people. They have a lot of young people. They have a lot of education. They have people who have the minds. But we need some younger people. Because if we watch the people we have now in politics, it's people that are there for 20 years, 25 years, and they're not giving the young people a chance. I don't know if you get what I'm coming.
Yes, I'm listening to you. Yes, I get your point.
But we need some younger people into the politics. We need some people with some new mindset. Because both of them, when they come there, they just leave things the way it is, and they're not making a change. Because look at going up to 2 years now, and all projects stop, all work stop. I haven't seen no big difference. Everything that's on a pause.
Yeah.
You get where I'm coming from?
Yes, sir.
Everything on a pause. So we need somebody to come with some new ideas and make a change. Make a change for the younger people. Look, if you watch the constituencies, right? They have they have changing rooms where that was there. They have the fields. You're not hearing about soccer rummers again. You're not hearing about none of them things for the youth. And I would say that, and some people blame it on COVID, but I blame it on COVID. COVID gone. Right now, they need to put things in place for the young people. If you are putting things in place for the young people, what they will do? They'll go out there, look for other things to do, gun violence, go different things. Now they have enough activities in place for the young people, for this generation. I want you to get where I'm coming from.
Yes, sir. I appreciate what you say.
Yes. We need some more. We need the politicians to put more things in place for the young people. I don't know when the last I heard of a soccer competition in our community. You know, so I don't know when. Before you swear they have Wulelaba cricket. I don't know when the last I heard about that. They need to bring back these things because the young people now, they have nothing to do.
Yeah.
They have nothing to do. They don't have no spot in place for these young people. So if the politicians put themselves in this position to make more activities for the young people of this country, I think St. Lucia will be a better place. I say no prime minister can stop crime, but you can control it.
Yeah.
So if you're not putting nothing in place for the young people, how we can go forward?
But as they talk about the youth economy, providing young people with opportunities to access funds to undertake various business initiatives, Scholar.
Yeah.
That will not make a difference?
But what I'm saying is, they have a lot of youth, right? The parents can't afford. Right? The parents can't afford. Now, you see the little soccer, the little competitions you have there. That is where you see the talents. That is where you get to pick and choose who have the talent and who can afford, who cannot afford. Because there are parents that can even send the children to school every day of the week. They have to take a day off because they cannot even the money for lunch
and transport
money and stuff and transport. You understand? So I believe that you need to put things in place that you can see the talent of the youth. And then that is where you get a chance. You can choose how far down can reach, how far down can reach. You understand where I'm coming from?
Yes, sir.
But there is no sporting activity. There are not enough sporting activities in the country for the youth. For the youth team. Even before COVID, right? They build all these changing rooms. They build one in Granny Bear, they build one in Moshi, Rosie, they play in different places. But they're not putting it into use. They're not making use of it. You know where I'm coming from? Now the problem is St. Lucia is a country where for the past 20 years or what, they have been changing government. Government always changing. The last government that stood there for 10 years was Kenyan. You understand?
Yeah.
It's changing government. Now, if we keep on changing government, so each time, the 5 years is not enough for them to do what they have to do. Now, when the other government, like let's say, right now, the SLP in power. Next election, they put out SLP, they put UWP. When UWP come back, they suddenly back over like brand new. They suddenly like new. So if you want to watch it, they don't have enough. A government don't have enough time to build a country. Now the young people now that just make the change because, like I tell people, the young people now they want to see a change. That's why I believe we should at least give a woman a chance to lead the country.
Okay, Colin.
Nobody thought Leah would be a good prime minister for Barbados, and I find she's doing a real good job. So I believe St. Lucia needs a woman to step up and try her luck to see if she can make the country a better country.
Okay, I'll be discussing that tomorrow afternoon on NewsSpin. How old are you, caller? How old are you, sir?
Me, I'm 46 years of age.
Okay, all right. You sound a little younger than 36, but you're young. You're young.
Yeah, I'm 46. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much for calling, sir. Time now for That's a Fact. That's a fact. Why does Mrs. have an R? The abbreviation Mrs. contains an R because it originally stood for mistress, long before mistress became used primarily in descriptions of extramarital affairs. And that is a fact.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
That's the broadcast for today. Thank you so much for watching and listening. My name is Timothy Poleon. Continue to listen to this radio station. Power Drive is next. I'll be back, God willing, tomorrow afternoon, 12:30, with another program. We'll discuss a range of issues, including why not give a woman an opportunity to serve as the island's prime minister next time around. So I've already alerted you what we'll be discussing among other issues during our broadcast tomorrow afternoon. Goodbye.